Hello everyone and welcome back to my making podcast, where I share about my knitting, sewing and making projects, whatever I have time for, which this last month hasn't been a lot. Turns out that daycare germs aren't to be trifled with. I've managed, or in this household, we've managed to be 3 different kinds of sick in the last month. But I guess that's life. Also, it turns out that making YouTube videos takes a lot of time. There's a lot of work in this. I'm quite impressed by people who do this long term. It's quite a commitment. But here we are, and I'm doing it again because it's taking a lot of time, but it's also quite fun. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna start off today, as always, with what I'm wearing. Today I'm wearing a Maggie cardigan by Petiteknit. I made this not for my birthday, but I bought the yarn as a birthday present for myself last year. It's made up in this yarn. It's Cardiff Cashmere Classic. Let's see if you can see it. Oop, there. It's 100% cashmere. Felt like quite the luxurious present, but since it was for one of my favorite people, it was totally worth it. I haven't worn this a lot since I'm a bit precious with it. It's not a cardigan for, blowing noses and making pancakes. So I haven't had a lot of chances to wear this. But this year things are changing, so maybe I'll get more wear out of this year. So before I jump into, our regularly scheduled programming, is that a phrase, a word? Before I get into the finished object, I'm going to talk a little bit about this. What's behind me? I got a question about this quilt hanging on the wall. So I'm going to tell you a bit about that. It's technically a finished object, but it was finished 6 months ago. But it's the biggest commitment making wise so far in my life. So I guess it's worth talking about. So this is a quilt that I made to commemorate the birth of my son. It's a temperature quilt for the year 2024. I had been wanting to make a temperature quilt for quite a long time, and when we got some unusually low temperatures at the start of 2024, I didn't want to miss the chance to get those colors in there. And I wanted to do something extra, for the birth of my son. This took me quite a while. It wasn't finished until fall 2025. But like I said, the biggest making commitment to date in my life. So what is a temperature quilt for those of you who aren't familiar? It's temperature quilts or temperature blankets are projects made that in some way document temperature of a specific geographic location during a specific span of time. Technically, you could document anything you want. I've seen examples of how much reading someone did, or the type of weather, or number of bathroom visits every day. Everyone can choose what they want. But since this is for temperature, let's talk temperature. You decide on a scale beforehand, colors or fabrics from warm to cold, and what span of temperature that corresponds with each color in the scale. And then you note the temperature for each day and let that decide what colors from your scale that you use for the day. So I wanted a good amount of colors and variation within the quilt. So I used a span of 26 different colors, which is quite a lot. And each color signifies 2 or 3 degrees Celsius. So it goes from very cold to quite warm, based on what weather we normally get where I live. I made one square for each day, with the background color signifying the lowest temperature of the day and the circle signifying the highest temperature of the day. My square was cut at 9.5 centimeters, which is 3.7 inches, and I hand appliqued the circle on. I was very much inspired by Stitch with Rachel. I like her. She's very nice to watch and listen to. I used, for my quilt, mainly fabric from laundry basket quilts. To get like the full scale I wanted, I put in some fabrics from my stash. I really enjoyed making this quilt, but I was quite stressed on being behind, because since it was, you know, for the birth of my son, it would have been nice to be done like when 2024 was over, like fairly quickly be done, but it took me an extra like 8 months, which, again, being a single mom with a small child, maybe that's fine, but I felt like it took me a lot of extra time, and I did not make like one square each day. I saved them up and made them in batches. So I pre-cut all the squares and all the circles. I like batch paired them, so I took notes of the temperature. I then sat for like a whole evening and put them together, and then I carried them around in Ziploc bags so I could just take them out and sew a few squares when I had time. I really enjoyed the hand sewing. It was very like a small, cozy, portable project. You also look very like old-fashioned when you do hand sewing, which is fun. Quite relaxing. The piecing, not so much fun. I thought I like to keep track of what little square is each day and not get them messed up was quite stressful. I was sure I lost a few for a while. I hadn't. The quilting was quite enjoyable, but I'm never ever doing anything but like straight line quilting. So, but it was okay. But it's a big quilt, so it was quite heavy on my like arms and shoulders and wrists. My one finished object this month, my Winters Pullover by Ozetta. I have it here. It's not that easy to like hold it up and show it to you, but here we are. It's yellow, like Easter. I'm gonna insert some footage of me wearing it as well. It's a basic oversize drop shoulder sweater. It's knit, or well, it's supposed to be knit with a gauge of 15 stitches per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. However, like mine is not knit at that gauge. I also did not use, well, that is probably because I didn't use the recommended yarn. I made this in Sandnes Garden Atlas in the color Harvest Moon. See this? And I paired that, or held it together with Gepard yarn, cashmere lace. There. So they're both in this quite warm, soft yellow. Perfect for Easter. I really love this color. It's I know it's either very like on trend, super trendy, or very off trend, like totally last year. I don't care. I'm glad that the trend, you know, made me discover the butter yellow and the fact that it's in my color palette. So now I can use this. Awesome. A new color for me. Yeah, I had some issues buying yarn for this pattern. Since I went off pattern, I wasn't sure how much yarn I was going to use. So I had to like guesstimate, and I didn't do that very well. I think I looked at this like pattern and then guessed I was going to make something 2 sizes bigger, and then added some, and you know, added some more just to be safe. I do prefer to like err on the side of caution. I don't want to play yarn chicken. I don't want to have to order more. I don't want to risk not getting the same, or getting the same color. So I want all the yarn I need before I start, and I don't mind scraps. However, this yarn was quite expensive, or the cashmere made it expensive. And I ended up using like 55% of the yarn I bought, which is a little too much left over for me. Did the math. So I spent like 2,700 Swedish crowns on yarn for this project, plus the pattern. Expensive. And that just the yarn would be about $290 US, or like 248 euros. It's quite a lot of money. And I was fine with spending that. Like I wouldn't have spent the money if I didn't have the money. But spending that kind of money and then not using all the yarn, I don't feel quite okay about that. So I need to get better at like learning what is the sweater quantity and how much do I need, because yeah, I love scraps, but not I wouldn't pay like this much money just to have a few extra balls of this just lying around. So please, if you have tips on knowing how much yarn you're going to use, please share them down below, because yeah. So I did gauge swatch before I started this project. The pattern calls for 15 stitches per 10 centimeters. As per my swatch, I had 14 stitches. And I liked the fabric, so I didn't want to play with, you know, the needles. Should never play with needles, that's dangerous. I didn't want to change like needle size. So I did math and decided that, well, the difference between my gauge and the recommended gauge was about one size. So instead of making the size 4, I sized down to make the size 3, which would then give me the same circumference. However, I apparently knit at another gauge when I finally started the project. So when I measured the sweater, I had knit it at a gauge of 16 stitches per 10 centimeters. So now I have a sweater that's 2 sizes smaller than it should be. So it's fine, like the sweater's fine and I really like it and I've been wearing it and I enjoy it, but it's not quite I wanted like slightly off-putting fashionista baba sweater oversize, and this is just your mom doesn't mind you wearing this slightly oversized practical sweater, which I feel like that's not the same thing. I'm okay with the width of this. I'm okay with the sleeves not being huge. It's more practical. But I would like it slightly longer. And I did knit it, like when making it, I thought I knit like 10 centimeters more than the pattern told me to, but I'm not sure where those like 10 centimeters or 4 inches went, because it's like, I think the length of this sweater is the length of the smallest size. So it's the length of a size 1, but I knit it as like for the instructions for size 3. I'm not sure how that happens, since I have the right amount of rows for 10 centimeters. It's a mystery. However, the yarn buying might not have been a mistake after all. I'm pretty sure that I've decided I'm gonna knit it a bit longer. I do have the yarn for it, lucky me, and maybe that will give it a little bit more of that oversized feeling I want, I hope. So thumbs down for overbuying yarn, but thumbs up for overbuying yarn, so you can correct your sizing mistakes, I guess. Well, this is a finished object. I've been wearing it. I like it. But I think I'm going to fix it and fix the length. So the story continues. I haven't touched any of my quilting WIPs from last episode, so I'm not going to go into those right now. This is the Loui Genser by Sandnes Garn. It's Loui Genser or Loui Sweater. I'm making this in Sandnes Duo, which is a half wool, half cotton yarn. It wasn't horrible on my hands. It's been okay. The sweater is half fisherman's rib, which looks really nice. but my God, it's slow. It was so much slower to make some progress in this knitting than I expected. But it looks cute, and you could choose between, I always find it difficult to choose sizes, so it was either the size 2 for 2 years old or 4 for 4 years old. And my son is 2 years old, but he's kind of a small 2-year-old, but you know, it would be sad to knit something that's too small now when I put this much time into it. So I'm glad to find that I'm just in between the 2 and the 4 size-wise, which is good. I'm a little bit afraid I'm not going to get his head through the ribbing at the top, but you know, we're just gonna have to try. And if it doesn't work, I'll take the ribbing out and try again. Like, love this fabric. Love the color again. Like, I think it's an old discontinued yellow. Yeah, it's very like warm field yellow. I'm sad they discontinued it, but I'm glad I have some because it's lovely. I need to knit the sleeves and I need to weave in the ends, but I'm hoping that this is going to be done. Not soon, but you know, before summer's here, because that would be nice. So that's the only WIP I've been working on. I have done some mending. And the first one I'm not going to show you because it's beyond boring, but I fixed a pillow. You know, like your bed pillow, everyone must have a favorite, right? I'm not the only one who has a favorite pillow. And my favorite pillow was very old. I think it must be from like my mom's house. And it's my favorite pillow. It's my neck's favorite pillow. And it was old, and like the fabric around the pillow itself was frail and breaking, so that like inside was starting to come out. Very old, very worn and ratty, and probably gross. I don't care. It's my favorite pillow. I just put that in a pillowcase and like overlocked the edges shut, and the pillow is fixed. That counts as mending. I have also mended pants. I might have mentioned that I have few clothes to wear. I own 2 pairs of linen pants. This pair is quite old, and I have 1 pair from this fall, and they both have like holes or starting to get holes, which is a problem. So I decided that fixing them is going to be faster than making new ones, which might not be true because I'm not sure if I chose a type of mending that's a little overkill. But this took a good long while, and I've only made one. And I'm going to show you these pants. I'm going to start with the crotch. Had a hole, found some of the old same fabric, put it inside a big piece, and just like sewed it into place. I tried to film with my, like when I was sewing it. I'm not sure that turned out well. If it turned out okay, I'm going to put it in. Let's see. See this hole, and like you can't really tell. Oh, it's there. But I've sewn like around it. And the crotch is quite invisible, which is amazing. Then I had a hole on the knee. And you can see a little more that I... Did they teach you this at like Influencer University, how to hold things up to your camera? Because I don't know how to do it. There. Yeah, the same thing, just sewed a bunch around and did that on the other leg as well. It took its sweet time. Now I have like armored knees on these pants, so they're not, you know, loose flowy linen pants. They weren't very loose or flowy from the start, but now they're most definitely like playground pants. But since I spend a lot of time there, that's fine. And I do spend a lot of time on my knees as well, so armored knees, awesome. So, acquisitions. First off, I apparently lied in my first ever episode. I said I hadn't bought anything, and it turns out I had. So, I'm going to show you that first because it's worth showing. I had gone to visit my mom, and we went to her local charity shop or secondhand place, and I found this. I think it's quite exactly 1 yard of fabric. Let's do that. It's not that thick. It's quite matching my cardigan. Yeah, about this. So it's this tealy color with little specks of something, but it was 1 yard for, I'm not going to do the conversion math here, but it was 10 Swedish crowns, which is like $1 or €1. So completely worth it. I totally expected it to be synthetic of some kind, so I took it home and did a burn test, where you burn a small bit of the fabric. And if it's synthetic, like if it's plastic, you should get this little like melting plastic ball when you burn your fabric. But I didn't. It was very fine ash. So I'm thinking it's a natural fiber. I'm just not sure what it is. But I don't have to be sure. I can use it anyway. So I'm just going to find something that I can make for myself with it's not a yard, it's a meter of fabric. So it's 100 centimeters by 140. So it's a decent amount, but also not. Like, I'm usually an XL. So I'm going to have to look to find something to make that in. But yeah, quite happy to actually go and find something that I liked, because I'm not like the thrift store queen. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. But totally cute, totally matching my cardigan, probably totally completely within my color palette as well. Also, I know I said in the last one that I hope not to have a lot of acquisitions, and I also have started going through my pattern stash. Turns out I don't need more patterns. You're gonna see, if you hang around, watch that video, you're gonna see I don't need any more patterns. I've gone on a bit of a pattern buying spree this last month. It started with Helen's closet. I love Helen's closet. It's like, I think she's the Petiteknit of sewing. Like, for me, Petiteknit is a good pattern that gives you what you want, like something with nice finishes, and it's quite hand-holdy. So you just follow the instructions, and they're clear and nice, and then you end up with something that looks good. And Helen's Closet is that, but for sewing. So if you haven't tried Helen's Closet patterns, please do. I really love them. I got these. So I got the Lazo jumpsuit, whoop, and the Holmes dress. There was on like Helen's Closet social media, there was this, they showed like the combo, so you can combine these two patterns and put the top of the jumpsuit with the bottom of the skirt, and that was very cute. So I bought them both. Well played, Helen. Yep. So I'm gonna look into making. I'm thinking I would like to make. I want to make the overalls with the top from the dress, because that looks cute. I also got this is a free pattern if you sign up on for the newsletter, but it's the Blomma tank by Paradise Patterns. Basic tank top, slightly, no, not like a spaghetti strap tank top, but more this wider, like sportier looking tank top. I also got, what are we gonna do? Oh, got this. I want to make shirts, so I got the Jenna shirt from Closet Core Patterns. I've been seeing a lot of this. People seem to like it. it looks like the perfect medium of, yeah, it looks like a good option for shirts, and I want to make shirts. So, and I got this. I think this is a new release. This is the True Bias Tobie jacket. It's a bomber, slightly oversized bomber jacket in 2 variations. My winter and fall, not winter fall, but fall spring jacket it's a ready to wear old thing, and it's falling to pieces. I need to make a new one at some point, and some point is moving quite close in time. And I've been thinking I would want a quilted jacket. Very original. I'm very original in everything I do. Not influenced by the sewing sewosphere at all. Whatever I can do. I can be unoriginal if I want to. So I thought this would be cute. I also got this. Is it the Elle skirt? Apparently, Elle skirt is probably the name of a town in Turkey, because when I search for this, I get a lot of Turkish travel stuff. But this is from Sewing Therapy. In my quest to find a skirt that suits me, I wanted to try this with pleats. Pleats might be a little matronly, and I am a mother, and I am pretty much 40 years old, and I have a I would say fairly matronly body shape. It might be too much old lady for me, but on some people it looks cool and fashion, so I could try. I'm going to try. Yeah. And I got 2 pairs of barrel leg pants. I got these from Ready to Sew, the Emile pants. Too much glare, window. There. This is just a line drawing. Yeah, barrel legged, slightly cropped pants with big pockets. Totally cute. And I got these from Kelsey White Patterns, the penny pants. This is also just a drawing, but I thought these were slightly bob-esque, but perhaps a little less oversized. I want to try them. I need pants. I'm on a quest for pants. The last pattern I got is something I've actually seen the teasers for, and I've been looking forward to getting this. This is from Thread and Sprouts. So this is called Soft Armor. It's a vest, but a pull it over your head kind of vest, with or without a hood, and it's buttons in the sides, so it's open on the sides, but with buttons. Very cute. I've been wanting to make something like this for a while everyone has been wearing or making quilted jackets and quilted vests. I've been sitting here fantasizing about this. Those were all my acquisitions. I usually don't buy 8 patterns a month. Maybe I don't need to buy more. We'll just say that. Yeah, plans for the coming month. What is the coming month? I hope, and this might be, again, hoping for a little much, I hope we don't get sick as much as we have been in these last few weeks. I'm going to finish the sweater formerly known as Easter sweater. It's now just the spring sweater. I would like to make more pants, like the pants that I've got cut out and that are waiting for me. I would like to make those. We'll see. I've also got quite bad cast-on-itis. I was in a bad mood the other day, and so I went to look through my yarn, as one does, and I have this project I really want to start, but it might have to wait. Yeah, because it's based on scraps, and I haven't finished the project that the scraps are intended for, so yeah, I shouldn't start using my yarn for something else before I finish the first project. So I guess that's all for today. this was nice. We should do this more often. Thank you for watching. Bye!